Patriots actually.
This rendition of Sportsball is brought to you by Raycon. The holiday season is coming up, and nothing makes people and defenses happier than receiving fantastic presents from those they love. What would be more exciting for them than finding the everyday earbuds under their tree? With a rich sound, booming bass, and quality build? A fantastic fit that brings comfort and reliability with every ear size? They're perfect for anyone on your list. And at a cost roughly less than half that of other major brands, it's perfect for your wallet as well. I got these for my little sister a few years ago. She needed a pair of earbuds and I got her Raycons as a gift before she moved away. She does a lot of work on her Peloton and she loves them. It's the compact nature of the earbuds, it's the 5 stylish colors they're available in, and the Bluetooth capabilities are seamless. For this special occasion, shipping and returns are free, which makes it even easier. Click the link in the description box or go to buyraycon.com/utree and use code HOLIDAY to get 15% off site-wide. I hate Christmas shopping as much as the next guy. But with Raycons, I at least know I'm getting them something they'll use. And there's value in utility. Now on to the show. We can force Washington to end tradition and change their name, yet we are still subjected to watching the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving. Couldn't they have at least pushed this game to the 4 p.m. window so we could all pass out for a few hours after dinner? Like most disasters in Chicago, it's a mismatch of misinformation and confusion. Rumors were swirling about Matt Nagy's overdue firing as coach after this game. They tend to be taken with sincerity when they're told by a Pulitzer-winning reporter. And it's exacerbated when people are chanting "Fire Nagy" not only at Bulls games, but at his son's high school football matchups. Chicago then returned to quietly stewing about how terribly run the Bears are as George McCaskey reiterated that they are accountants. And firing a coach in the middle of the year isn't financially efficient. You may have noticed I haven't mentioned anything about the game itself so far. Would you rather me lecture you about how pathetic it was? Are checkdowns on 3rd and 32 considered to be peak football? The only positive thing I'll say is that Dan Campbell has embraced the spirit of the tank. With how badly he botched the play calling and game plan, it's the kind of ineptitude we haven't seen out of a coach since Freddie Kitchens. Chicago's final obnoxiously long drive? Oh man, Salvador Dali's envious of seeing a clock this mangled. The Bears won out of spite for themselves. Detroit is miserable since they're still winless. Chicago is stuck with Matt Nagy as coach for another few weeks, and everyone who watched even a second of it feels like they wasted their time. No one won. Except for the NFL, because we'll willingly see this slop. I firmly believe the Zebras had money riding on this game. There hasn't been such a complete ref ball performance like this in about 3 weeks. The players are irrelevant. Let's give it up for the real MVPs. Sean Hockley and his officiating crew. With these kind of numbers, this is the kind of game that needs to be caped in a gold jacket. One that cannot be contained in such humble accommodations. More meaningless filler content, God help us all. Buffalo is a massively inconsistent franchise this year. So much for being Super Bowl contenders when the interior line is being held together by Scotch tape and the only running game to speak of is from Josh Allen. We got both Bills teams against New Orleans. In the first half, there was the squad that failed to launch. As I said, the offense solely relies on Josh Allen. And if you can force him to make decisions under pressure, he'll feed a defense countless mistakes. The Bills are leading at half, but that's only because the Saints are a turducken. Injured talent inside Sean Payton's over-aggressiveness inside shattered hopes and dreams lathered in a sauce of Michael Thomas's arrogance. Buffalo then showed us their second-half form. The dominant world beaters we were expecting out of them earlier in the year. But this is a New Orleans Saints team that's gone through a fucking hurricane of ailments. You should be crushing them if you have ambitions. And it technically should have been even more of a decimation than it became. Buffalo is good, but instability may ruin them. Especially if Tre'Davious White is out long term. Bills, real talk. Find a running back to use besides Josh Allen. It'll help. Let me describe the Jaguars season in one picture. Before the game, the team's mascot was stuck in the air while ziplining and had to be lowered to the upper bowl. Never has a situation been more ironic. Jacksonville is stuck because things keep fucking up. Atlanta is not a good football team, yet against easy opponents like this, it's a feast. This was a group that had been blown the fuck out in the past 2 games, yet shook it off like nothing happened. It's what the Jags do for teams. They are the health icon in a video game. No matter the wounds, there will be healing and rejuvenation. It was an easy win for the Falcons. Almost too easy. Even then, for as pathetic as they are in reality, Atlanta's only a game behind in the wildcard race. The Falcons have been doing nothing but shooting their own kneecaps and are still in striking distance. The 2021 NFL season, folks. Does everyone remember when Miami was this close to trading away Tua Tagovailoa because he apparently sucked or something? After games like this, balking on the Deshaun trade looks wise. The Dolphins may have a steep uphill battle to make it back to relevance, but they are riding a 4-game winning streak. And a good deal of it is thanks to outstanding defense and to a strong performance against one of the better pass defenses in the league. It was a statement for Miami, and I simply hope it isn't too late for them to salvage anything on the year. On the other end, for Carolina and Cam Newton, it was pure depression. Today we all remembered cold realities. Their offensive line is broken and Cam's shoulder is fucked. With Super Cam putting up incredible stats like going 5 for 21, 2 interceptions, and a 5.5 QBR, is it any surprise that he was benched in the fourth quarter? I'm watching a career fade to nothing. The reasons why New England chose Mac over him in August are on full display. This Panther was poached, and it's a slow death when you're visibly wounded in the jungle. Festivities of Tank Bull are always a wonderful time. So many traditions. The New York Jets. Zach Wilson returning from the dead to die again. Tyrod Taylor. Sparrow Detus on the call. It's a dream tank-off as one can imagine it to be. My only regret was that it wasn't at MetLife Stadium where all great Tank Bulls are played. Things were looking quite perilous for the Jets at first. Too many unforced errors. Too often did the defense fall apart. But they have a few things that Houston lacks. They have resolve. They have determination. They have a defense that rebounded to form. And they also don't have a really good reason to tank for a top draft pick. It'd be nice for them to get a Thibodeau or Hutchinson for the defense, but it's not super important. The Jets show us by the end of the game a truth. That the Texans suck. Such a scorching take, I know. Houston gains ground in the relentless tank for something? What do they need besides everything in the offseason? Tonight, on Meaningless Fan Service, the Black and Gold Brigade enters as close to a must-win situation as a midseason game can be. Against the kid they used to bully, the Steelers head to their grounds and... Oh my God! What the hell is this? Cincinnati beat the ever-loving fuck out of Pittsburgh. Absolute annihilation. Is this what a handing of the baton feels like? Because the Bengals hunted down their old tormentor and skinned him alive. This game was over by half, and I'm not even joking about that. Ben is a mess, the offensive line is a cheap knockoff, Najee can do nothing in the defense. The unit that was supposed to be good? Cincy shit all over it like it was chili. The only good part about the game for Pittsburgh was that it ended. As Cincy teabags them at the 50-yard line, the Steelers will be taking the Escalooser back home to prepare for Baltimore. Back home, this dedicated Yinzer also succumbed to a malignant case of the Steelers and took the Escalooser to his grave. Only in a way that Yinzers can envision their burial. As we hope this isn't the unofficial end of their season, so continues the days of our Steelers. Fuck, I said this was over with. Bill Belichick is nowhere near close to finished on his revenge tour. No one will be taken prisoner. No one will be shown mercy. All that matters is that those that doubted his power will be undone. How about Tennessee, the precious #1 seed of the AFC? The team injured to hell that's overcome all obstacles? Now there's a good target to make another statement. In the foreboding cathedral of Gillette Stadium, the Patriots systematically dismantled and devoured a once proud organization. The Titans are burning through players like they're firewood, but there is no injury that New England will not capitalize on. They can try and fight all they can, but the hoodie will always remain one step ahead. His unit is well trained and optimized for hunting. Tennessee will be their next mantle decoration no matter what. With this convincing win, the streak of consecutive victims is now at 6. And with the Titans' loss, we also have a new #1 seed in the AFC. Baltimore? Really? Interesting. We should always remember the rule of Philly. Whenever they have a chance to do anything good for their city, they not only implode in dramatic fashion, they take a gigantic dump on their populace while doing so. My newest example of the Eagles reinforcing stereotypes is against the Giants in what should have been an easy win for them. When the offense can't run the ball, they are fucking useless. I know the G-Men defense is stout, but their fans are desperate for them to lose. Jason Garrett clapped his way to unemployment, and it's necessary to get Dave Gettleman out of there. However, Jalen Hurts must have had sympathy pains for how bad he's been. With him lobbing critical interceptions in the fucking red zone, he needs to be investigated by the SEC. You'd almost imagine he'd been bribed by someone to throw the game. Although I'd argue it has more to do with the fact that he's not good at, passing the ball. Christmas came early for the Giants. The Eagles' offense gave and gave and gave some more. So much charity that Philly could use this game as a goddamn tax write-off. New York just had to stand there. They let their enemy bite itself in confusion. With this loss, Philly's foolish playoff aspirations took a beating. It slipped through their hands like Jalen Reagor's butter sticks. On the final play of the game near the goal line? Really, man?
You had it all and you blew it!
Both teams are looking to maintain form. Tampa Bay dispatched a cupcake and want to defeat a formidable opponent. Indianapolis just ran over a true contender and now want to take out another one. It's a shame that the Buccaneers defense is really good against the run. Jonathan Taylor couldn't do much, but that won't stop Indy from fighting for everything in their life. The Colts know the stakes at hand, and another loss, no matter how hard fought, won't shake the doubters. They respond quickly with an authoritative lead, but Tom Brady has seen this opponent before. He mastered their vile magic while he was fighting against them in New England. The Bucs just have to bide their time and wait for the Colts to make mistakes, which they do. And Brady will exercise his right to an unfair trial and declare Indianapolis guilty of hampering his quest for Lombardi number 8. Tampa Bay has willed themselves to a 7-point lead, but look to the light of Wentz. He still has some of his holy powers from Philadelphia, He has re-blessed Jonathan Taylor with the charge of the bull. His rushing prowess ties the game, but as I said, Tom Brady is good at mimicking their cheap spells. He used the same charm with Leonard Fournette. Do you remember when Jacksonville said he was a cancer and cut him? I think the 4 touchdowns he had on the game will make Tom Coughlin want to find him for culture issues again. Once again, Indy tried their damnedest on an excellent kick return, but it was not enough in the end. Tampa was just the better team. I won't shit on them, though. It was a well-played contest, and Indy has shown they are a team to be feared. They will not lie down. And with how wide open the AFC is, they can drag it along to hell with them. Welcome to the NFL, where momentum is useless and absolutely nothing matters when gauging a team from week to week. Do you remember the Chargers' incredible comeback win because the Steelers forgot how to defense last week? Too bad for them that Denver's D decided to splurge on Madden Ultimate Team packs to boost the players. Justin Herbert did all he could, but when next to no one else is performing, there's little one man can do. Can Herbert somehow help the Bolts defense do anything to stop the run? They're all but laxative with how much shit they let through them. The Broncos have gone from faux contender to dog shit to even more dog shit to somehow pulling this off. As the Chargers import vast amounts of San Diego to fuck everything up, Denver slides right into the winner's circle by means of an impenetrable iron curtain. With this outcome, it turns the AFC West once again into a colossal fucking bloodbath. Somehow they helped out Kansas City by winning here. Crazy to think. Rams and the Lakers have a lot more in common than either franchise would like to admit. Both are home to a ton of old stars that may or may not have gas left in the tank. Both have invested a shitload of money and resources into making their teams contenders. And both are a lot like most of the useless remakes that litter Hollywood these days. They do nothing but underwhelm at the box office. All of those names and that star power means little when they don't gel together as a team. Green Bay was a test for them. How can they hold up against a heavyweight like them? From the looks of it, about a half before the wheels fall off. The Packers are dealing with significant injuries as well, but still looked rock solid. Their quest to achieve a final glory will continue on, as LA wasn't too tough for them. Too many unforced errors by the Rams, and in this kind of gauntlet, every single fuck-up is going to be magnetized. Now, I'm not throwing in the towel for LA yet. It's a short stretch and they can still find the form they were hyped to have. But I can't say a 3-game skid is encouraging. I trust Sean McVay to do something to have them hopefully not suck, but I can't say I'm not enjoying watching them fail. Not for the shit Crunky pulled on St. Louis when he moved. Fuck that toupee-wearing snake. This one is intriguing to me. Both the Vikings and 49ers offer much more upside than their records suggest. They are flush with talent and have lost games in humiliating fashion. And for either team to keep their winning streaks alive, these rising stars must cross. For both, this match is must win. And it's unfortunate that one of them has to lose. With how they're playing in this neck-and-neck contest, this is the kind of battle that's glorified in film. Minnesota and San Francisco take turns throwing haymakers at each other while the audience watches in anticipation. Someone is going to blink first. Someone is going to make careless mistakes. Today, like many other days in their history, it was the Vikings. Kirk Cousins has been excellent this season, but threw a brutal interception to give the Niners prime field position. Down by 8 late in the third, Dalvin Cook fumbled to give San Fran more prime field position. But that was far from the main issue. He was sacrificed to the football gods in this play. It might be the second key player to be out long-term in less than a week. If you don't have bad luck, you have no luck, I suppose. Minnesota will blame ref ball for this, and they do have some arguments there. Mainly in the Adam Thielen no-catch and Josh Norman trying to tenderize Thielen's leg. But were the refs responsible for the entire offense being so disheveled that Kirk Cousins lined up behind a guard? How about their inability to convert at the goal line on 4 tries? Or what about their defense unable to stop an over 7-minute drive in the fourth quarter? I hate to say it, Minnesota, but the better team won here. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's the curse of the Vikings. San Francisco enjoys it as they get back into playoff position. Talk about your epic matchups as if they are anything special. Lies. Strap yourselves into a world where every play is such beautiful torture you'd think you were in Abu Ghraib. AFC North football, a place where the terrible is routine. Where whatever expectations you have are hilariously thrown out the window. When the Browns play the Ravens, it's the stuff that puts the Ice Bowl to shame. A game so ugly and disheveled that you can call it modern art. Anything they can fuck up, I can fuck up better, both teams cry. Cleveland can fumble the ball on a wide receiver pass all they want. Lamar's making turnovers tonight. Cleveland can kick a field goal by means of doink to bring their lead down to 3. Lamar believes the ball is infected with plague and gives the ball back on the next play. The Browns can fumble the ball away again on a sack. Lamar's making turnovers to feed an army. I cannot exaggerate how terrible Lamar Jackson was today. Even on his big passes to start the second half, he's just saying, "Fuck it, I'm gonna throw it deep. Mark Andrews will spawn in to catch it or something." This wasn't a game where a team won. It's one where the winner simply fucked the ball less. Whatever opportunities the Browns had, they could do nothing with them. Lamar had 4 interceptions and the Ravens still ended up victorious. As has been proven time and time again, Baltimore reveals they are both the luckiest sons of bitches with the injuries they've had and a team that wants to fill up every neuro ICU with stroke victims. This matchup was a goddamn hemorrhage, and millions saw it happen live on primetime. If you don't like this, then you don't like AFC North football, motherfucker! Monday Night Football always gets the matchups that look okay in August, but are garbage tier by game time. Both of these teams don't deserve to be anywhere near the playoffs this season, but they're still holding out hope that they won't spew diarrhea like a FedEx Field sewage pipe bursting. For the second time in 3 months. Ron Rivera's game plan worked to perfection. For about 4 quarters, we watched grass grow on the field. Washington put Seattle to sleep by simply holding onto the ball for as long as possible. It was working, too. Chef Russ's offense is fucking putrid. You sure it was a good idea to bring Russell Wilson back so early? He's either not fully healthy or I don't want to consider other options. The only highlight of the first half was on an extra point. A blocked field goal scooped up and ran back for a 2-point conversion by the same man. A fat man hat trick. Bless the gods for this bounty, for it's the only offense Seattle will have most of the game. The Seahawks had 5 3-and-outs and 1 first down well into the fucking second half. They're lucky that Washington is down their kicker thanks to said greatest play ever. As they strangle life away in the fourth quarter, they can't kick a field goal to seal the deal. So 4th downs will have to be converted. Do they get into the end zone near the goal line? Hell no, we need last-minute drama. Chef Russ then becomes the kid who forgets to do a homework assignment, so he rushes everything while eating breakfast before he gets on the goddamn bus in the morning, and voila!
Wilson throwing. Got a man wide open.
The kid who did the bare minimum got it done. But there was one problem.
Wilson, all sorts of time, throws, and it is intercepted.
There were questions on the back. Too late for Seattle. And a recovered onside kick that didn't travel far enough confirmed it. Seahawks, you thought your season was all but over last week? This game was the dagger. For the NFC, we now have a new 7th seed in the playoff race. The football team. The NFC is that top-heavy? You will never convince me that adding a 7th seed was a good idea for the NFL. I just realized I forgot to double locale of the week this week. This one's easy for me. It's Philadelphia. Fucking trash-ass franchise can't do anything right if it was a red zone opportunity for Jalen Hurts. This opportunity for me to roast them was wide open, but I dropped it like Rager. Imagine living in Pennsylvania. That sounds embarrassing. Football is a brutal game. May the bell toll for the fallen.
Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Unit lost.
Thus concludes another week of this sermon on the field. Amen.
League leader with 32, 3rd and 3. Running play. Hilliard, big gain, and Hilliard's got speed. He could go. Dontrell Hilliard all the way. Touchdown, Tennessee. 68 yards.